Gonna start off with a drink. Peach Pear LaCroix, one of my summer faves. Let's do this. Today is all about my summer favorites, and I'm gonna be sharing all sorts of things. So I'm just gonna get started because we have a lot of stuff to cover. Starting off with a moisturizer that I've really been liking. This is from the new Clinique ID line, and this is the Dramatically Different Hydrating Jelly. I like it because you can choose what moisturizer you want, and then you can choose what treatment you want to add into the moisturizer. I love this, especially because moving into summer, I just get really sweaty, I get really oily, it's humid, and it's just harder to get things to stay on my face. So with moisturizer, I really need something that's going to absorb quickly, but is still going to be hydrating. This is the Drunk Elephant D-Bronzi Anti-Pollution D-Bronzi Anti-Pollution Sunshine Serum. Got it. It leaves a really subtle bronze tint. Can you see the difference? Does that look like something different? Yes, it does. I can see it from here. It definitely looks different. It feels like it's part of your skin. It provides a little bit of a glow, and it's a really great way to get that like bronzy feel wherever you might want it without going in the sun. Skin cancer runs in my family. It's very prevalent. So I've been quite irresponsible when I was younger, and so I'm trying to be more responsible as an adult. Another glow enhancing product that I have been loving. I've been using this pretty much every single day, whether I'm wearing makeup over the top or not. It is the Fresh Face Instant Glow Luminizer. I use this in my spring makeup tutorials, so if you want to see what this looks like on my face, you can see it there. This leaves a super natural looking glow behind, which I love because it doesn't look shimmery. It just looks like you got a facial, and I love that. This is definitely becoming one of my all-time favorite products. Another glowy product I've been liking, which I also used in my spring makeup tutorial, is the Flesh Stick highlighter in Pinky, and I have this on my face today on my inner corners and a little bit on my cheekbones. I love this highlighter. It is what I wanted the Glossier Halo Scopes to be, but I mean, I know a lot of people like those, but I just don't like them. To me, they are like Elmer's glue sticks. It's just tacky and sticky when I apply it, and I feel like it clumps on my skin too. But this is just so smooth and creamy. It's exactly what I want in a stick highlighter. It reminds me of the RMS Living Luminizer, except I think that it's much easier to work with, super easy to blend in, not sticky at all, and I love the packaging as well. Another Flesh product I really like is the foundation stick. I am using the shade Vanilla. I don't use this all over my face, I will say that. I only use it like on my nose area, and then maybe a little bit under my eyes, just like in certain places on my face. Could use this all over your face if you want. I love the coverage that it provides. I'm still able to see my skin through the makeup. I really like how easy it is to apply. I know some people have said that this is very small, and it is very small, especially if you're using it all over your face on a regular basis. This is not going to last very long, but because I'm only using it in specific areas and I'm not using that much of it, it's lasting longer for me. But I totally see what other people mean by this being small, because it is small. I mean, look at it. It's like, it's the same size as the highlighter, but like a highlighter you're typically not putting all over your face. Again, I like this better than the RMS concealer, which I have really been all about for a while, but this just blends better. I like that there is a much wider shade range to choose from, and I can get my makeup done quickly, which is what I want. So the last beauty products I have, I'm wearing one of them right now, the Laura Mercier Velour Extreme Matte Lipsticks. I am wearing the shade Fab today, and I have to say it is indeed fab, at least in my opinion. And then I also really like Stylin. That's what I used in my spring tutorial. And I have Fire and On Point. All of these colors I feel like are very me. Normally with lipstick, I have to stand in front of the mirror for a little bit trying to get my lipstick right, but because these are small and precise, I can just get it on my lips super quickly. The color stays on. The colors are beautiful. So I'm really into these. These are my new favorite. Love them. The LaCroix before we get into the books. Ta-da! I'm currently reading this book. It is called Text Me When You Get Home. It is by Kayleen Schaefer. So far, I am really loving this book because I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I have cultivated meaningful friendships with other women, but I'm also in a place where I have been in New York City for about a year and I'm just starting to cultivate meaningful new friendships with women. One of my new friends actually gave me this book because she loved it so much, and we went out last night and she texted me, text me when you get home, and I replied to her, I was like, oh my god, I am loving the book and this phrase is forever different for me now that I'm reading this book. The author describes this phrase that she often hears women on the street saying to each other when they're partying, and she says to her girlfriends, she says that text me when you get home means text me when you get home, like literally. Tell me you're safe. I'm always here for you. Let's keep talking. And that's totally what it is. Like, I have goosebumps because that's totally what that phrase means. I'm also in this place where I've realized that growing up, we are told one narrative about female friendships, that you're gonna be jealous and you're gonna feel competitive, and that, you know, the goal is to get a boyfriend and then like ditch all of your friends. And look, I have definitely been that friend who has like ditched her other friends for a boyfriend or a significant other, but I'm not in that place anymore. I am in a place where I could not imagine my life without my female friendships. I just love this book. I love it. If you are someone who is like at a turning point with female friendships, or you're having a difficult time with female friendships, you love your female friendships, this is an incredible book. I have 3 other books that I haven't read, but just consider this like my summer reading list, or at least part of it. This is How to Be Loved by Eva Hagberg Fisher. It is a memoir of life-saving friendship. I have read a lot of great reviews on this book, so I'm really excited to read this one. Another friendship book, The Moment of Lift by Melinda Gates. I interviewed Melinda a few months ago. She was so incredible. She really has a just really special presence. I went to her book event with Brene Brown in New York City, and I loved seeing the two of them in conversation, and I'm really, really looking forward to reading her book, which is all about lifting up women, because when you lift up women, you lift up humanity. And she talks about how she realized this doing work through the Gates Foundation, but she realized it in a difficult way. I loved her story, so I'm really, really, really looking forward to reading her book. And then the last one, totally different from all of these other books that I've talked about. Obviously, I have a Liane Moriarty book. I love her books when I'm just looking to escape into a juicy story. I have Truly Madly Guilty. You know, I love a domestic fiction novel, like domestic drama in a suburban neighborhood. That's basically what's going on here. Loved The Husband's Secret, loved What Alice Forgot. I figured I can't go through another summer without a book by Liane Moriarty, so here I am. Last section, TV shows. Also really excited about this. The first thing, I gotta say, Gentleman Jack. Oh my god. So this is a series on HBO. It's based off the true story of Ann Lister. She kept an extensive diary over her life, a 4 million word diary to be exact, and a lot of it was written in code. So she would document a lot of her sexual encounters, but she would write it in code, which was a combination of algebra and Greek, which I'm like, how do you even do that? This is the first time that I have ever really seen an androgynous lesbian character who is the center of a show. It's really meaningful for me to see a lesbian story on TV. And, you know, I think that Ann Lister was definitely ahead of her time, but something tells me that she is also in a lot of ways ahead of our time too. Another show that I really love that is entering its 3rd season is The Bold Type. So right now there are 3 episodes that I've seen of the new season. I've just really liked The Bold Type because they definitely talk about current events and issues that are going on within our culture, but I love the friendship of the 3 characters. They work at a publishing house, which I would equate with like a Cosmo magazine. They're talking about sex and egg freezing and queerness and just all of the things that matter to me. They are speaking to, and they're doing it in a way that's also fun to watch. Last thing, there's a TED Talk that you need to watch. Nora McInerny's TED Talk is one of my all-time favorites, and she talks a lot about difficult moments that people go through in their lives, specifically death and loss and grief. And her TED Talk is about how people don't move on when somebody they love dies. They learn to move forward with their grief. My dad died over 10 years ago, and I think a lot of people, especially people who have not experienced a loss, would think, oh yeah, she's over it. And to me, it's like, how could I ever get over my dad not being here? You know, I lost him at a time in my life that was so pivotal to just growing up. I was 17 years old. I wasn't even like a fully formed human. People shy away from that conversation with me. When I say that my dad died, it's like this sad thing that people are just like, oh, let me just go over, get out of your way. Let me just like avoid that and move into something else. And Nora touches on every single thing that I have ever felt since my dad died. And she makes such a good point. We are all going to experience death and loss at some time in our life. That is a common thread amongst us. And so it would serve us all better to understand these experiences and listen to people who have experienced these things. It's an amazing TED Talk. So I'm going to link it down below. And if you haven't listened to her podcast, go listen to her podcast. If you haven't read her writing, go read her writing. And I admire it when anyone goes to those really deep, dark places that live inside all of us, but especially women. So obviously you can tell I'm just like a Nora super fan. So I'm just gonna leave it at that before it starts getting real weird and creepy over here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you can get notified when I post a new video. And if you don't know when I post new videos, well, I post them every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I will see you guys next Friday. Until then, have a great day. I was gonna wave, but this wanted to come out, so we're just gonna roll with that.